Over the past 4 years, you have repeatedly and correctly stated that the 2020 presidential election was rigged against you. Myself and many election experts know your claims are true because of the brave work that was done by former Mesa County, Colorado clerk and recorder Tina Peters. Mr. President, I know you are aware of the plight of Tina Peters because she is the only election official in America who had the foresight and courage to do her sworn duty to safeguard the 2020 federal election records she was responsible for maintaining as required by federal law. By doing so, Tina was essentially functioning as an agent of the federal government. Tina uncovered evidence that criminal federal election tampering was perpetrated by Colorado's Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, the same person who tried to keep your name off of the 2024 Colorado presidential election ballot. When Tina made that evidence public, she effectually became a federal government whistleblower. However, instead of being complimented by the federal government for her extraordinary efforts to preserve the federal election records she was elected to protect, the Federal Bureau of Investigation was weaponized against her and they raided her home and confiscated her belongings. The government then wrongfully prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced Tina to an outrageous term of 9.5 years in prison, which began on October 3rd of 2024. Tina should be eligible for U.S. Department of Justice protection, if not a full presidential pardon under the U.S. Constitution's Article 6 Supremacy Clause and the Privileges and Immunities Clause of the 14th Amendment, as well as the Whistleblower Protection Act. She should also be entitled to federal protection because she reported evidence that the Secretary of State of Colorado, Griswold, had the Mesa County 2020 federal presidential election records altered, which is a federal felony. Either way, the U.S. Department of Justice has ample cause to conduct a federal investigation of Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser, District Attorney Daniel Rubenstein, Judge Matthew Barrett, former U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, and past FBI Director Christopher Wray, because they all colluded and conspired to persecute and prosecute Tina Peters for exposing federal election fraud that contributed to your loss of the 2020 presidential election. I continue. I want to make sure I'm not disclosing. Tina is nearly 70 years old and had one third of one of her lungs due to cancer.